Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more relationship stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. Let's crack on with today's first story. Much love guys. Now today's first story comes from PoisonedGem, who says, my boyfriend, 29 male, wants my daughter, 6 female, to call him daddy. And just to give you a warning before we do get into this story, it does contain emotional manipulation, verbal abuse, and emotional abuse of a child. If you do want to skip the story, please feel free to do so. Timestamps are down in the description and along the timeline below as always. Now let's get started. My ex Dean, 30 male, and I, 27 female, share 50-50 custody of my 6-year-old daughter named Santina. We broke up about 2 years ago on mutual terms and are pretty good friends now. Even though my ex and I are no longer together, he's a great dad to co-parent with, and he absolutely adores Santina. She is the apple of his eye, and she adores him equally as much. I've been seeing someone new, Aiden, 29 male, for the past 8 months. He's been very good to me, and I enjoy his presence a lot. We have not said I love you yet, but I can see it happening very soon. When we first met, I made it clear that I had my daughter 50% of the time, and that her father was very active in her life. Aiden was fine with this and we got very close very fast. A couple of days ago, I went to pick Santina up from Dean's house and Dean asked to speak with me privately before we left. He seemed pretty mad, which is very unusual for him. He told me that Santina had asked him if he really loved her or not. He told her that he does love her, more than anyone, and wanted to know why she asked to begin with. She then revealed to him that Aiden had been pressuring her to call him daddy for the past few weeks without my knowledge, and that she should stop calling Dean daddy because Dean left us, which meant that he didn't love her as much as Aiden did. I was absolutely astounded and pretty furious. I told him I had no knowledge of this, but I would absolutely get to the bottom of it. On the way back to my house, I told Santina that I overheard Aiden asking her to call him daddy. I didn't want her to think Dean had betrayed her trust by telling me, and asked her how she felt about it. She said it made her mad because she already had a dad and didn't want another one, and that she was upset with Aiden for saying her daddy didn't love her because her daddy did love her. I reassured her that her dad did in fact love her more than anything on this planet, and that I would get Aiden to stop. She seemed visibly relieved. I tried to keep my face from revealing the pure rage I felt inside, because I didn't want her to think I was mad at her. Later that night, after Santina went to bed, I called Aiden to tell him he needed to come over to talk, and that it was very important. When he got to my house, I asked him in what world it is okay to tell my 6-year-old that her dad didn't love her, and why he would tell her to call him daddy when she already has a very good one. He didn't skip a beat saying that Santina needed parents who were together, that he loved her and I both. First time he's ever said this, and he spent enough time and money with her that he should be allowed to help parent her. Therefore, if he was going to parent her, he wanted to be called daddy and wanted Dean to only see Santina on the weekends. I was absolutely floored. I asked why he didn't speak to me about all this first before he decided to go ahead and do this. He said that she was young enough to teach her to call him daddy and wanted to surprise me by having her call him daddy without me knowing he coached her. Basically, as if she had just called him that all on her own. I angrily shut all that down immediately, saying that he was just my boyfriend. He has no place expecting to be my daughter's father. He's way out of line, and I needed some space from him. I asked him to leave. He started yelling, saying that I was being absolutely unreasonable, that any woman would be happy to know that their boyfriend wanted to love and be a dad to her child, that I'm being an arsehole, depriving my daughter from having a relationship with him, that he would be a way better father than Dean. When he said that, I absolutely snapped. I told him there is no better father for my daughter than Dean. He's a great man and a great father, and that if he ever talks about Dean like that again, then we are through. He then accused me of still being in love with Dean. I told him to get out or I'd call the police to have him escorted off my property. I'm just totally flabbergasted, and I'm trying to figure out how I could have missed Aiden being absolutely insane, because only insane people think this way. I felt pretty confident that I was in the right. Until today, when I received multiple messages and phone calls from his friends and family. One called me a moron for not accepting Aiden as Santina's father, since her real father was a deadbeat by not paying child support. I never wanted any. Another said I shouldn't have defended Dean so much because it makes me look bad. His mother texted me and said that children should have parents who are together and that I should apologize to Aiden. His dad said that I was lucky that Aiden ever wanted to be with someone who had a child and to be grateful that he wants to be Santina's father. I sent Aiden a text to call off his family and friends and I want to take a break from him for a while. Now he's blowing up my phone telling me to think about what's best for Santina and that he loves us both and would die if he lost us. Who is this man I've been dating? Did I jump into a parallel universe or something? Am I crazy for having reacted this way? Why is he so obsessed with my daughter calling him daddy? I've already called Dean and asked if we could stay with him for a few days because I didn't feel safe here and he agreed. We're leaving to go in the morning. What do I do here? I do really care for Aiden. Even my mum said that I blew this whole thing out of proportion and that I shouldn't break up with him for a little mistake. Do I sound crazy? Need some advice on what to do moving forward? Thank you in advance. I'll answer your last paragraph on what should I do here. You should leave him immediately. That's a major red flag. He should be holding no secrets with your daughter from you in any shape or form, trying to turn her against her bio dad, trying to manipulate her. But a bunch of characters says and asks a question to OP. You haven't even said I love you to this man and he's pressuring your daughter to call him daddy behind your back and telling your 6-year-old that her father doesn't love her. What more of a red flag do you need? And now his family is harassing you. Seriously, put your kid first. This one should be a no-brainer. OP says thank you. I thought it was a no-brainer too, but everyone surrounding me seems to think that it's a sweet gesture that he just took a little bit too far and that I'm overreacting. Dean is the only one on my side. Which begs the question, how much is this because I was shocked about all these family coming up to you and telling you that you're in the wrong for this. How much have they actually been told about the story? Have they been told the full truth? They might have been told small parts of it, but have they been told the full truth? Because surely anyone from outside of this can see how messed up that is. People saying this is a sweet gesture that he just took a little bit too far. What, telling her father doesn't love her? That's insane. VR Rogue says, so Aiden is playing creepy crazy. You aren't wrong. Apparently it is learned behavior from his creepy crazy family and friends, but he hasn't told them the whole story. Not sure what your mum's deal is. I'm a 46-year-old father of 2. You are not crazy. Your boyfriend crossed major boundaries and tried to alienate your daughter and Dean behind your back. You should drop him and not look back. Aiden is narcissistic. OP replies and says, thank you for saying that. I really appreciate it. I've been trying to rationalize everything that's happened, but I just can't find a good reason why he's done this or why everyone seems to be on his side. Everyone is concerned about how I made Aiden feel, but no one is concerned about how he made my daughter feel, which is infuriating. Who does this stuff? Mary Moo says, OP, you are not crazy. This situation is nuts. This was not a little mistake on Aiden's part. It was a calculated effort to break your daughter's relationship with her father and to make you think that your daughter loved Aiden. He didn't do this because he loved Santina. If he really did, he wouldn't try to make her think her dad doesn't love her. Kids need parents who love and protect them, whether or not they are together. Aiden's parents are seriously warped to think that you are lucky that their precious son wanted to be with a woman with a child and wants to be Santina's father. It's seriously concerning to me that Aiden tried to manipulate both you and your daughter. His proclamation that he would die if he lost you is both over the top for an 8-month relationship. He turned his friends and family on you to convince you that you were in the wrong and that you aren't thinking what's best for your own daughter. This is a control tactic. He's trying to make you doubt yourself. Don't fall for it. His actions have escalated to the point that you were worried about being in your own home. He's not a good person. Ditch Aiden and don't look back. Marianne says check the sex offender registry, then shares the link and says you've only been dating for 8 months. He's been doing this to your daughter for weeks. Her dad doesn't love her, he should be a dad. Telling you with the time and money he spent on her, he should be a dad. This is grooming behavior. Forget anyone that said you're blowing this out of proportion. Protect your child at all costs. OP edited the post after a few comments and says, once we get to Dean's house, I'm going to permanently break it off with Aiden. I really just wanted someone to say that I wasn't crazy for feeling this way because some of my friends and family were saying that I overreacted and I should be grateful that a man wants to be in Santina's life. It made me second guess myself. I should have broken it off the second Dean told me what was up. Aiden exhibited creepy and inexcusable behavior. You will never see me or my child ever again. Thank you for all the comments, even the harsh ones. Sometimes you need people to tell you the hard truth. He doesn't have keys to my place, nor is he on any pickup list for school or her extracurriculars. But even so, I'm going to reiterate to everyone he is not allowed anywhere near her, and Dean is going to help me change the locks just in case. I'm going to reevaluate which friends and family I allow around us, as some clearly don't have my best interests at heart. I'm also going to put Santina in therapy just to make sure there is no lasting damage. There are no words that explain the guilt I feel. Edit 2, we went to Dean's place first thing when Santina woke up. She was happy to see her dad again so soon. When we got there, Dean and his mum were both waiting for us with breakfast. After we ate together, his mum kept an eye on Santina while Dean and I went shopping for new locks and some security cameras. I sent Aiden a message on our way to the store and permanently ended things with the threat of law enforcement if he contacts me or tries to contact my daughter. I then blocked him on everything. We are now on our way to set up the stuff at my house, but we're still going to stay at Dean's for a few days just to be safe. Thank you to everyone who commented and helped reassure me that I was not losing my mind. So there were some relevant comments on the concerns for her daughter, and OP says, thank you for saying that. I really appreciate it. I've been trying to rationalize everything that's happened, but I just can't find a good reason why he's done this or why everyone seems to be on his side. Everyone is concerned about how I made Aiden feel, but no one is concerned about how he made my daughter feel, which is infuriating. Who does this stuff? Another one says, I plan to have a serious talk with my daughter to make sure he hasn't crossed any other boundaries. Now that you said it, I feel like you're right. His interest is extremely unhealthy. He'll never be around us again. Next one says, that's the plan now. I was just starting to doubt myself because people around me, but my daughter comes first. I will not let him around me or my daughter ever again. Another one says, after this, I don't ever want to date again, honestly, and I'm content with that. My girl was so close to danger, and it's my own fault. I'm just so glad that she said something to her dad before anything worse happened. Opie has relevant comments about her ex, Aiden, and what family think about it. Opie says, it just seems like this all came out of nowhere. The only person on my side is Dean. Even my mum thinks that I could have handled this differently, so now I'm starting to doubt myself. Next one says, thank you for saying that. My mum thinks that staying with Dean isn't a good idea because Aiden is bound to find out and he'll get even angrier. She thinks I could have handled this better and was even surprised that I wasn't okay with him wanting to be called daddy. To me, 8 months is not enough time for him to think he can be involved in my daughter's life that way. But everyone else is acting like I'm out of my mind. Thank you. I thought it was a no-brainer too, but everyone surrounding me seems to think that it's a sweet gesture that he took just a little bit too far, and that I'm overreacting. Dean is the only one on my side. He didn't meet her until we were dating for 6 months, and he seemed so normal. Other than this, he's never said or done anything that would make me believe he could act this way. Dean even met him and liked him well enough, but you're absolutely right. I'm questioning my own judgment for not just breaking it off immediately. Opie then adds another update and says, it's been a week since I broke up with Aiden for his creepy and inexcusable actions with my daughter. Santina and I have been at Dean since then. I've received non-stop harassment since I broke up with Aiden. Him, his family and his friends have been blowing up my phone, threatening me, and every time I block someone, they contact me with a new number. Apparently he saw the post and went absolutely berserk. When I went to my home to get some clothes for myself, Dean has plenty of clothes for Santina already. There was an 8-page letter, front and back, taped to my door. It basically said how upset he was for airing this out online. That he feels betrayed. And then he ranted about how Dean was trying to keep us apart. At the end of the letter it said I'd be sorry if I didn't contact him. Dean has since asked me to stay with him until further notice, which I have no issue with. But I honestly think I'm being stalked. Sometimes I can see a car similar to Aiden's car, but I can't tell who's in it. I'm not sure if it's just paranoia, but I feel like someone is always watching me. It doesn't help that Aiden's mum was caught trying to sneak into my work to talk some sense into me. I went to the police to report the harassment, but was told there's nothing they can do. I've pulled Santina from daycare for the time being, and Dean's mum has been watching her because I am so paranoid. I feel awful about it because she keeps begging to see her friends. I don't want to scare her by saying that she might be in danger. I broke down to Dean last night about how terrified I was and suggesting that he take Santina to his father's home in another state just so she can be safe. He calmed me down and told me that it was a great plan, but that he was worried to leave me by myself. He's going to talk to his dad about all 3 of us going, but if not, I never really got along with his dad. I'm going to insist that he go. I already put my daughter in enough danger by even dating that psycho, and I refuse to put her in any more danger. I sent pictures of the letter to my mum with a message. She'll think it's just a small mistake, and she hasn't answered me yet. She's a prideful woman, so I doubt she'll ever admit that she was wrong. I'm so exhausted from all of this, and I feel like I'm completely losing my mind. Dean has been a fucking champ though. He's taken a leave of absence from work due to a family emergency. He's been taking me to work and any other place that I need to go. But his girlfriend is not happy with the current arrangement. I try to be as kind as I can, and she understands the situation. But she is not shy about letting me know that she doesn't want me there. When she found out that Dean wanted to take both me and Santina to his dad's, she just about had a heart attack. She hasn't spoken to him all day and won't answer his calls. I feel so guilty about this whole thing. I put my daughter in danger by dating Aiden, and I've put Dean at odds with his girlfriend because I was stupid enough to date a psychopath. So that's where I am at. If anyone has any advice about how to let Dean's girlfriend know that I mean no harm and that I'm not trying to steal him away from her, please share. I just want to make things easier on Dean since he's done so much for me. I'm sorry this seems like a ramble because it definitely is. Thanks again for everyone for commenting on my previous post. And that was Opie's currently last post on this, so there might be further updates down the line, so I'll certainly keep an eye out for that. But what do you guys make of this situation? That's incredibly scary. I mean, I wonder what his family is going to say about that now, the way he's acting, if they ever do find out, if he's even telling them the truth anyway. Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Let's move on to another story. And our next story comes from the Am I the Arsehole subreddit from Least Earth 7308 and says, am I the arsehole for telling my girlfriend she should have told me she spoke my language? I, 25 female, recently started dating my girlfriend Alexandra, 29 female, who was a long-time acquaintance of mine at work before. We've been together for only 6 months, but I've truly never been happier. I had to go out with my cousin and asked Alex if she wanted to join me. She happily did. I'm originally Greek, so is my cousin. Sometimes would slide in a few words. Somewhere in the conversation, Alex started joining in. It was a moment of shock for me because she never mentioned she spoke Greek before. I was saying pretty basic things with my cousin, then she just heard me speak on the phone, cursed to myself and never mentioned that she spoke it. I didn't say anything then, but once I got to my place with Alex, I called her out on it. She said she speaks multiple languages as a hobby and it is not a big deal. I made her count. There were 13 that she was fluent in. My point was, as my girlfriend, she should have told me earlier about this, and she heard my conversations around the house and never commented on them. They were mostly about my mum's difficult health situation, and she doesn't want that to be shared. She doesn't even tell my brother. I know because we have a special mother-daughter relationship. Edit. I only ever talked to my mum in Greek in front of Alexandra, and it was mostly in the car while we were both in it. I also explained to her that it is something about her health that she's not comfortable with me sharing. Also, my mum can't speak English. Am I the arsehole? I'm going to start off with Holly, who says, Sister, I am a Greek woman myself, and I have to tell you, if I found out that my foreign partner spoke Greek, I'd be the happiest person in the world. The only reason why you'd be unhappy about this is if you wanted a free pass to lie to her face about conversations that you're having around her, or just the ability to shit talk about her to your friends and relatives without her understanding. You're the arsehole because it seems that you are angry about the fact that you can no longer shit talk around her, rather than the fact that you didn't know about this hobby of hers. Salt says, did you ever ask her if she spoke another language? Why does she have to disclose every language she partly speaks to you? You're the arsehole for overreacting. It seems super suspicious that you get triggers by this. Are you trying to hide things from her and worry she will find out? Dittohead Forever says you're the arsehole and quotes sometimes would slide in a few words. And quotes again saying I was saying pretty basic things with my cousin. It goes on to say, so you were deliberately excluding her from your conversation, thinking she didn't speak Greek. That is just rude as heck. You should be thankful she came forward and let you know before you went beyond saying basic things. Particular Try says no one's an arsehole here. Probably got a bit weird at some point when she realized you were speaking Greek fluently and she didn't know how to say, hey, I speak that, but then found a casual low impact way to bridge the now obvious gap. How did you have a girlfriend for 6 months and not know enough about her hobbies to know she spoke 13 languages fluently? Yogurt Far says these comments are wild, not the arsehole. If I started dating anyone foreign and knew they spoke another language, that I also knew I'd mention it. The fact she didn't is straight up crazy. It would end the relationship for me. What else is she keeping from you? And one more from Prickly Peaches, who says not the arsehole. It's a little strange that she never brought it up being able to speak multiple languages after 6 months of dating. After all, language learning seems to be a huge passion of hers, so it's strange that she wouldn't talk about her passions with her partner. If she has such an affinity for languages, I wonder if she started learning Greek when you began dating. Maybe now she is fluent enough to converse and thought it would be a cute surprise. Now, the comments were all over the place on this one. There was not the arseholes, no one the arseholes here, and of course you're the arseholes as well. But what are your thoughts on this matter? If you have a moment of your time, I would love to hear them down below in the comments. And just a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for getting involved in today's stories, your love, your support, your time, not just towards me, but towards one another as well. It's just insane, and I absolutely love to see it. So thank you, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Take care, and much love.
Yeah, man, I remember being so naive when life was good, weather and palm trees. Back in the day, you were everything I need. But then along came a time when you crushed my dreams. Oh yeah, you played me like a fool when you made me believe that the line between love wasn't thick enough to read. Oh yeah, you see we in despair, crime everywhere. You're selling false hope cause you just don't care. Nah, you just don't care.